I really don't want to talk about this. Because when I found out about it this morning, this afternoon, early in the afternoon, I was upset and depressed at the same exact time. But since I found out about this information, y'all gotta endure it. Pokemon Legends ZA has been fully leaked, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. And of course, in perfect fashion, Central Leaks not only dropped the leaks, but the tea as well. And the thing that got me upset was the very thing that I was afraid was going to like come out, but then again there's just like no, that like aside from the leaks that we got previously last year, there's no possible way it could get worse. It did. So it reads as follows. If you guys can see exactly what I'm showing. Pokemon Legends Ho-Oh and Lugia, which was going to be announced 2024, and it was going to mark the 25th anniversary of Gold and Silver. It got scrapped.
What the hell is even that?
The game that was supposed to be in the place of Pokemon Legends ZA, that was going to be set in Johto, they had decided to change it to Kalos. And this reads as follows. Set in a time before Pokemon trainers existed, a story about the origin of trainers. The protagonist, who has fallen through time, commands Pokemon and revives 3 Pokemon. The Burn Tower is said to have destroyed by fire 150 years ago. In the past, it was a 9-story tower, however, identical to the Bell Tower. So this was going to be even more lore that was going to drop. And just to make sure you guys know that this is not, fake or anything, here's more detail of it. Here's the art that they had for it. And this affected me because I was a fan of Johto. Johto was my favorite region. It's my favorite generation. I love Johto. The one thing that had gotten me upset last year and had prompted me to make a video, and this is going to be part 2, by the way, as to why I retired from Pokemon, is this right here. And the sad thing is, this wasn't the only thing that had got leaked. Hold on. So as you can tell, apparently Scarlet and Violet DLC development was over budget and had costed as much as Legends Arceus. And here it is, because they had a whole document, which, by the way, updated as soon as this was leaked. Nintendo decided to take down all of the links of the documents that had been discovered. So you know that everything that has been leaked is actually true.
It's exactly what he said.
Tell him.
Every bit of it is true.
DLC at an appropriate scale, commensurate with the revenue, and focus on achieving low costs. So basically, yeah, Scarlet and Violet wasn't meant to have this DLC because of the bug that apparently was going on with the DLC. The game wasn't even encoded to have DLC, which prompted for them to spend more money apparently for that DLC. Thank God I didn't buy it, to be more than what Legends Arceus had costed to me. Oh, and just so that we both understand this, and this is something that me and Urban Ninja, the moment we found this out, everything clicked. So as you probably are reading this, the person who loved Pokemon just like we did, that was a part of almost every project, right? They got rid of him. Junichiro Masuda was banned from directing Pokemon games.
No. 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 Hell no. No. No.
Referenced as the era of Masuda's absolute dominance. Masuda alone handled development planning, personnel decisions, public relations, and game design. Up through Black and White, it was an era where no one could oppose him. However, this led to concentration of power, and the organization began to run out of control. In personnel matters, unnecessary people and favorites emerged. The game's content shifted from being focused on fun to being driven by PR. They could no longer do proper game design. Various problems arose, and during the development of X and Y, Masuda got into an argument with Sugimori, resulting in a decision that he would no longer be allowed to direct from then on. So, if you guys can line up the timeline, Black and White was the last really a story-driven Pokemon game that a lot of fans want back. And given the fact that they also announced that not only Gen 10 is coming, Wind and Waves, I know people are gonna be excited. Don't worry, I'll put that in this video for y'all to see. There's also the Gen 5 remakes that are also going to be coming, but they've also speculated that it's probably not going to come after the Switch 2 dies.
Ha! Gay!
So once the Switch 2 dies, you're probably going to hear about the Gen 5 remakes, probably. But going back to what I was saying, it lines up perfectly with the decline of effort and actual good detail to Pokemon games. Because if you noticed, X and Y had a bucket load of problems. And then going forward, say what you will about Sun and Moon, but all of the games after that, just you started to see a decline. And it's because of the fact that the company itself focused more on PR, basically just pushing out Pokemon propaganda, PR campaigns, all those Pokemon Presents where they had featured Post Malone and all these celebrities singing for him. That's what all that was. That's what all of that was. They focused more on that and less on the fun aspect of Pokemon and diving more into the lore and everything. And that's why we stopped seeing him. But they not only got rid of him, they also got rid of Shigeru Ohmori, who was also the division chief after they got rid of Masuda. So it says here the first two images are from 2021, talking about the state of Division 2 that makes Pokemon games, the thing that we care about, that people care about. The documents mention that he basically inherited the same structure of power that Masuda had, with no real changes to the structure. Mr. Ohmori is still serving as both Division Chief 2 and Director. If this continues, it will lead to centralization of authority, and the organization could run out of control. You see the pattern here? So anything that is making sure that they, that the people who have like the insight and the mind to make good stuff, they're getting rid of them. They're just getting rid of them. On 2024, the documents now confirm that Ohmori is the former director of Division 2, so he's no longer the director.
Your intellect is as weak as your dollar. Failure is your destiny. You disrespect yourself and your nation. You are made of stupid.
And y'all can see the documents here. This is not fake. None of this is fake, because the Pokemon Company literally just took down all of the links to the actual documents that have been translated, saying the exact same thing that this is saying. The exact same thing. And as you can see, this is apparently the new mechanic for Wind and Waves, where you're finally gonna be, I guess, ride the Pokemon, whatever, size you are, I guess, adapts to the Pokemon size, petting mechanics and everything. Also this, they finally decide to redesign the Pokemon after so many years of just ripping the sprites from X and Y. They're doing that, and I'm just going through it, and as you can see, here is the logo of Wind and Waves, the so-called logo. Yeah. Now, as you can see here, oh god, hold on, sorry. As you can see here, there's also, they're saying, take into account that if Game Freak current schedule pans out, the Unova remakes will happen at the very least around the Nintendo Switch 3 release. So basically the next Switch, you're gonna see the remakes come out and stuff like that. Yeah. And then there's the stuff about Pokemon Gaia, where they're basically going to be focusing on Galar. As you can see here, here's the new design for Charizard on the right. The one on the left was the old design, the one that they kept on using. As far as Gen 10, it's going to be going to Southeast Asia. Like, they had other ideas of Gen 10, Canada, Greece, Scandinavia, Northwest, North America. Me and Urban Ninja got a big laugh out of that. This was a concept art of another Slow King, I guess. It's of the Megas and all this other stuff. But yeah, Pokemon Gaia. There's stuff for the Wind and Waves. There's stuff about Seed Pokemon. An MMO Pokemon game that's finally an MMO that's going to be featuring like the gens from Gen 1, I believe, to Gen 4 or 5, I want to say. Yeah. Here's the summary about the whole thing about Gen 10. this looking like the way it is. Pokemon Gaia. That was the code name for it, Gaia. And yeah. Yeah. The reason why I'm even making this video is basically just to, because I know that some of my subscribers are still Pokemon fans. They still love Pokemon. So if you were excited for Pokemon news, if you were starving for more Pokemon news other than Legends ZA, there you go. Gen 10 is on the way along with Pokemon Legends, but I'm done. And this is a part 2 of what I had said previously regarding me. The fact that any good idea that this company makes, any good idea this company decides to have, they throw it out the window. They just chuck it out the window. And it took y'all this long time to make ride mechanics, which I guess is justifying the reason as to why you're suing Pocket Pair. And you're dead scared for them about them because they were so successful with their game. Y'all had this in the works afterwards, which is just very funny. A lot of people are now speculating that, because of the success of Power World and Digimon Story Time Stranger, that this is going to the Wind and Waves is going to be the game along with the Pokemon MMO. It's going to be the game where we're finally gonna get what we're asking for. Don't put your eggs in one basket, I'll just say that. And I know that people, when they have the chance, they're gonna buy Legends ZA no matter what anyone says, no matter what. Right now, let the content creators who either got this game for free like Sacred or bought the game just because they wanted to buy it, let them tell it. They're happy with the game. They're happy with the way the game runs. They're happy with, even though that it takes place in only one city, they're having fun. And they're hyping it up and making their videos and making their revenue. But the point that I'm making is this. It's not worth it. It's honestly just not worth it. I don't know how long the people who are hyping these things up so much gonna wake up finally, just move the freak on to bigger and better things, because there are bigger and better things out there, and they are coming. New things, new bigger things. I don't know what's it gonna take, but I know it's gonna get worse. Especially the fact that we have no idea who is even directing the division that is making the Pokemon games that y'all are buying. I have no idea. And now I got even more answers as to why I have been frustrated and tired and just done with Pokemon, because of the fact that they got rid of the people who made Pokemon feel like it was home for some people. As I was recording and honestly finished rendering the original thing that I had recorded. The Urban Ninja had also let me know of something else as well. The original plot for Pokemon Sword and Shield got dropped, and this was the original transcript of the plot. Luckily, somebody had already translated it. But it reads as follows, and I'm going to say it. He said it was probably inaccurate, but the mystery of the King and Queen Pokemon, mystery of the King and Queen, a legendary Pokemon is dead. A song is sung. It sings while trapped in a cage. The location of the tomb. There's legendary Pokemon. It is alive. The heroes who transmitted the legend of King and Queen buried two of them. Matadogas and his trainer guarded them. 2 generations after the legendary Pokemon was buried, following the fall of the country and surrounding regions, they passed down the legend of King and Queen sealed path to the tomb. Now, this was the inaccurate telling of it, but apparently somebody had translated it. It reads this. Game system overview. Gyms are located in towns and cities, each with a leader, visiting trainers, sponsors, and a dedicated stadium, which is basically what it was like beginning to be in the beginning of the game. Trainers who repeatedly fail to defeat a gym leader are depicted as struggling or stuck trainers, emphasizing their frustration and determination. League system overview. The Pokemon League operates as a prestigious competition, with gym leaders and other challengers serving as gateways to the ultimate showdown. Power spot mechanic. While exploring the field, a new attribute-based system highlights power spots, was basically the dens, and is basically just talking about like doing the raids and shit. Talking about the Gigantamax Pokemon, the G-State Pokemon. 4 versus 1, that's about saying the raids. But here is where we get to the actual thing that is needed to be talked about. The mystery of the King and Queen Pokemon. Legendary Pokemon are believed to be dead. A myth surrounds 2 legendary Pokemon known as the King and Queen. The song, a haunting melody is sung, and the area is shrouded in mist, serving as a clue. Now, for those of you who don't understand exactly what that's entailing, it's talking about the song that is played when you go and encounter one of the dogs, one of the legendary dogs from Sword and Shield, in the beginning of the game, either Zacian or Zamazenta. It's talking about that, and if you guys remember, the mist that you know is like blinding the screen, and that song just starts playing. The tomb, a hidden burial site, holds the truth about the legendaries. Contrary to belief, the King and Queen are alive. Historical context, a heroic figure, a servant of the King and Queen, respectfully buried the 2 Pokemon long ago. A Gengar and his trainer now guard the tomb. Cover up, fearing invasion from neighboring regions. Later regions embellished the legend of the King and Queen and sealed off the path to their tomb. Downfall. Several generations later. During the war, the absence of the King and Queen, touted as the region's trump cards, led to the nation's capital, the nation's collapse. Shifting belief over time, the King and Queen were dismissed as factional Pokemon that never existed. The Secretary's ancestor, the Secretary's grandfather, claimed to have met the King and Queen, coming in from lineage of Tomb Guardians. He resembled the original Tomb Keeper, which led to a chance encounter with the Pokemon due to a prank by Gengar. However, he could never find them again. And when he presented his findings to scholars, he was branded a fraud and driven to madness. The family resentment. The secretary's family harbors bitterness toward their grandfather for his obsession and eventual breakdown. The song's purpose. The melody serves as a passphrase to gain the Tomb's Guardian's approval to access the tomb. It's very interesting that they left that song in there, and it was never explained. It was never brought up again why that melody even started in the beginning of the game. They just left it right there. They left it encoded in the game, but they took all of this stuff out. Resolution. After the player captures the king and queen, the Gengar, having fulfilled its duty, quietly vanishes. Players encounter. Initially, the player suffers a concussion and is rescued by Gengar out of pity. Similarly, the secretary's grandfather was saved by Gengar after getting lost in the forest. D01 region, known as a creepy fog-laden forest. D01 is shrouded in mystery and fear. So, basically, we were robbed. We were robbed of not only the best plot we could have ever gotten from Sword and Shield, but we were also robbed of what Gen 8 could have been. They had all of this in their back pocket, and they had yet to give us that because of whatever reason. And as you can see, here are someone else had translated it, and it's the same thing. A juggernaut company, a $1 billion franchise, one of the biggest franchise in the world, and y'all are having problems with creating the video games that y'all been making since Red and Blue. And the moment someone else is having success, you want to sue them. And make people wait 5 to 10 years for things that they should have gotten back then, way back when. There is no justifying it. There's honestly no excuse for it. And sure, y'all can be just as excited for Gen 10 and the next Pokemon Legends game, which is gonna be featuring Galar and all this other stuff. If you don't care about story building, if you don't care about the lore of Pokemon, if you don't care about any of that, and you just turn your brain off or whatever just to enjoy a game that costs way more than a freaking McDonald's meal, then that's on you. You know what? That is honestly completely on you. I'm just one man. I can't make anybody wake up and see that they're just wasting their time with something. They gotta come up with that realization on their own, and I realize that. I do realize that. And to be quite honest with you, I was contemplating whether even to make this video. Hell, I wanted to make a video that was talking about the length that Digimon is at right now with how many Digimon they've made so far, which is more than Pokemon. And maybe I will make that video. But if there was any doubt that I had on the decision that I made to retire from Pokemon, it's gone. It's gone. You get rid of Junichide Masuda. You get rid of Ohmori. And whether they had a hand in some of the failed things and struggle issues behind the company or not, you're getting rid of people who cared about Pokemon. Meanwhile, you're keeping these corporate executives in the Pokemon Nintendo company. You're keeping these corporate executives to run this IP. And I'm going to say this right now, you're going to be running into the ground. Now, how this is going to go about, I have no idea. Hell, Legend ZA could very much well be have sold more than Scarlet and Violet. The game comes out within a few days. It could very much well sell very well, regardless of the fact that it's lacking a whole lot. And now you already got reviewers hyping it up, giving it a 10 rating, a 9. There's nothing more that I can really say other than to say that I'm greatly disappointed. And here I thought I wasn't gonna hear anything else about what they planned to do but decided not to. Here I thought I wasn't gonna hear about any of that. Shows what I know. Shows what I know. If this week hasn't giving you enough incentive to not buy that game, go buy it. Go buy it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you do. But when you finally decide that you've had enough, the space for Digimon and Power World and any other game is right over here. Because times are getting hard, and there's only but so much that one can pay for. Not everybody has the means to be paying for multiple games out the wazoo, so I definitely understand a choice that you gotta make. Especially if some people don't have jobs, some people don't have the means to be buying these expensive games. And the DLC at that, along with the online subscription. So I definitely understand. So if you don't have the means to do it, don't force yourself to. And yeah, sure, you can wait for a month to get the game and not even give the Pokemon company that first week of revenue. You can choose to do that. But will it matter to them? Not really. Not really. But it's your choice. I can't force anybody. I can only talk about myself. And the fact that the fact that Legend ZA is as bare bones as it is, and they tried so much to course correct, along with canceling the one game, or just shafting the one game idea that honestly could have saved them. If I'm being real, a lot of Pokemon fans wanted that. I could not tell you how many Pokemon fans were livid this morning, talking about how they were robbed. They were robbed of possibly one of the most impactful Pokemon games they could have made. Expanding more of the lore about the 10 Towers. The origin of Pokemon training. And for what? For what? To go in a bare bones, isolated city where there's no routes, apparently no gyms either, apparently no gym leaders, not even the not even the two legendary Xerneas and Yveltal? What? And this is allegedly what I've been hearing. There's literally nothing in that game. And y'all picked that over the lore and story behind the origin of the Johto region. The origin behind the beasts, the three beasts, Entei, Suicune, and Raikou. I mean this in every word that I say. I hope to God within a year, within a few months, I'm going to erase all of the Pokemon knowledge I accumulated for the past 30 years. I hope that after all of this, I completely forget all of the knowledge that I have for Pokemon. All of that knowledge was stored up here. And I hope to God it gets erased and replaced with anything else. Because that company does not deserve my brain power to be thinking about this any longer. The only thing that I'll probably do, and this is most likely for Master Zen because he never played it, play Black and White with him off screen. I'll do that for him because he never got to experience Black and White. Other than that, your boy's done. There's no justifying what I've seen. There's no justifying what I've read. None. The next video is gonna be about Digimon, and I'm gonna say that right now. Either that or Monster Rancher. So I ain't forget about you, Mr. Otaku. We can talk about Monster Rancher all day, all John Brown day long. I promise you that. Hell, let me get enough hell up in me. We will stream Monster Rancher. I'm all the way serious. I'm going back to play some more Time Stranger on my PS5. Y'all have a good night or a good day. Whenever you start to watch this. I love y'all. Peace.